quite a few people asked this. Anthony Stanek said, thoughts on Scott Hall in the AWA. So I believe Scott Hall in an interview said that you were the only veteran in the AWA who would give him the time of day and actually try and help him. Is that
Well,
a fair thing to say?
well, maybe because Scott was. I mean, Scott was like a natural. He had a natural charisma. It's too bad because he was a very smart guy when he was sober and straight. He was a nice guy, very clever, and you could see how he got his characters over with actually making the bad guy kind of cool, the Razor Ramon, and then this and that. But he was like, I think I was one of the first guys he worked with. They brought him into the AWA when he just started, and Vern or someone came up to me and said, "Oh yeah, you're going to have a match with this new kid, uh, Scott Hall. So take it easy with him." I went, "Okay, a new kid." And then I go out of the dressing room and I look down the hall and the guy says, "Oh yeah, that's the guy, Scott Hall." And I look and I go, "Oh my God, what is he, 6'7", 300 pounds?" I'm thinking to myself, a new guy that's huge. Oh my God. But it was an interesting story because it was the first match I had with him, and I smartened him up to some things. And during the match, when he did what I told him and then stood up like he won, the crowd went nuts. And Scott felt it. And he had a respect for me from that through the years. And he'd mention it once in a while, the time we wrestled in Winnipeg. He never forgot that, what I taught him. So I kind of helped him out. And then I realized this guy can be money. He was a big guy with a good look, and he could talk and do characters. And it's too bad he had a demon, but that was Scott.
Why did it take him so long for him to sort of get his natural charisma to come on screen? Because he was like just big Scott Hall, and he just had all these characters that didn't seem to fit him at all. Why did it take so long for him to get comfortable on screen?
Well, I really don't know. Really, to be honest with you, I mean, because I was someplace and he was in the WWE, and I didn't talk to him in those days. He was doing his own thing, and then back in those days. But yeah, I mean, you had a lot of big guys. The Hulk and Kevin Nash and Scott, and so he had to compete with a group of guys that were big guys who could get over, but so it might have taken a while, but he caught on and he developed it, and he did a great job with creating characters.
Brendan M also asked, I remember seeing videos of you and Scott Hall just watching wrestling. How close did you guys become?
Well, we were good friends, and then even so when he lived in Orlando here, he'd come over to the house and he wanted to do some show when the computer stuff started. It was called Last Call with Scott Hall. And we'd film it here in the TV room with me and Scott, a couple other guys, and talk about stuff. And I know nothing about computers, but I guess that's when YouTube and stuff was starting and all that. So he'd come over to the house, and he lived right down the road, not far, but okay, I'm brain dead trying to think of all this stuff. What what was your question now completely?
Just how close friends were you with Scott over the years?
Well, we were close friends. I mean, we didn't hang out all the time. And, like I said, I never drank or went to bars. Scott did that way too much. He'd be thrown out of the restaurant here and there, but so we hung out once in a while, but not too much because Scott was a little out there and I was never into booze and drugs.
Different interests.
Yeah.
Yeah.